Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, May 21st, 2015. I'm Lauren Fraser with the details. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment says works are continuing for the implementation of the second phase of the Miracle Mission or Vision Now Eye Care Program here, which will see Vincentians benefiting from eye surgeries. In a media release issued earlier today, the ministry says it has come to its attention that there are unscrupulous persons who are seeking to create confusion and are taking advantage of persons' vulnerability by misleading them with false information about the second phase of this initiative and is urging such persons to desist from doing so. The ministry says it is currently fine-tuning the logistics and planning the details as to how, where and when the mission will be conducted in collaboration with the relevant authorities in Venezuela. It says persons must not take any action such as preparing for travel until a public announcement is heard on radio or on television, and that following the public announcement, a nurse from the district clinic will inform selected persons for the second phase of the mission. And with the possible threat of the mosquito-borne Zika virus here and throughout the Caribbean, Vincentians are being put on guard and urged to adopt the necessary precautionary measures. In a statement to the public, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Clayton Bergen, says it is important that the threat of the virus is taken seriously.
The Zika virus is from the same family and is similar to the dengue virus. The signs and symptoms include fever, joint and muscle pain, conjunctivitis, headache, weakness, rash, and swelling of the lower limbs or the legs. After the bite of a Zika virus-infected mosquito, symptoms usually appear following an incubation period of 3 to 12 days. The symptoms last for 4 to 7 days. There have been no reported cases of deaths due to the Zika virus. In February 2014, the public health authorities of Chile confirmed that there was a case of the Zika virus, and currently the public health authorities of Brazil are investigating a possible transmission of the virus. This recent outbreak of the Zika virus in different regions of the world is an indication of the potential spread of the virus across territories where the Aedes aegypti mosquito is present.
Bergen emphasized that the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which spreads the Zika virus, is the same mosquito that is responsible for the transmission of dengue and chikungunya, which are generally found in and around places where people live and work. Hence, it is important that everyone plays a role in getting rid of mosquito breeding sites.
I therefore ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to do whatever is necessary to help to destroy the mosquito. You can do so by searching for and destroying mosquito breeding sites, by getting rid of old tires and containers in which water can settle, by punching holes in tins before disposing, and by covering large drums, barrels, and tanks holding water. And I may also add even some tree trunks that tend to hold water. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment considers this potential threat to be a very serious one. I therefore urge everyone to do his or her part to prevent mosquito breeding and so help to reduce any possibility of the introduction of the Zika virus into the island.
In related news, the health minister says the professionals in his ministry are currently working assiduously to put in place the necessary surveillance systems to detect this virus. He adds that they will be working with regional public health agencies, including CAPA, to strengthen their laboratory detection and also integrated vector control programs to be able to respond to yet another vector-borne disease.
There is no specific vaccine or treatment for this virus, and I therefore urge you to understand and appreciate that personal responsibility is critical. We will continue to monitor the developments and put measures in place to reduce the Aedes aegypti mosquito population, and we will update you accordingly. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you of the importance of keeping your surroundings clean and to avoid conditions that can give rise to the breeding of mosquitoes. Your health is a shared responsibility, Let us therefore all work together to keep our blessed land clean and Zika free.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Electricity Services Limited VINLEC earlier today conducted a fire drill exercise with its employees as part of activities to commemorate the company's Safety Awareness Month. The exercise saw the employees split into two groups, taking the necessary precautions to put out a simulated fire on the grounds of its power plant at Lomans Leeward. The activity, which was deemed successful by VINLEC's Environmental and Safety Officer Anthony Patterson, was done to instill a culture of health and safety among the employees.
We decided to embark on this activity of firefighting to really reinforce some of the principles of safety, fire protection that we have embarked on over the past several years. I mean, the nature of VINLEC's operation is such that fire is always a risk in our operations, particularly at our generation plants. So a number of our staff members, particularly our mechanics, operators, electricians, as well as our engineering staff and our other staff members have been exposed to firefighting training over the past several years. And today what we saw was really the culmination of an idea. Let's bring together a couple of teams in an effort to focus persons' minds on the actual fighting of fires and add a competitive element to it, which is always, a good way to get persons engaged and involved in training.
Patterson says with training, he believes the VINLEC employees are capable of handling any situation that may arise, and this is very reassuring. He says it is important for them to test the readiness of the employees as well as the fire equipment available.
A few years ago, VINLEC embarked on a fire protection project, which is now in phase 2 of its life. That project involved it really arose out of two major fires that we had in 2009 at the Kane Hall facility, and a lot of investment has been made in basically revamping, in some cases, totally new infrastructure in fire detection, that is fire alarm systems, as well as putting in a new range of fire suppression equipment or firefighting equipment. And along with that investment would have been a significant investment in our staff in terms of training our staff, equipping them to respond adequately and effectively in the event of a fire situation, which can be a threat to our generation plants and therefore the electricity supply on a whole.
In court news, Akeem Martin, a 16-year-old student from the Otley Hall community, will know his fate at the next practical sitting of the criminal session on an indictable charge of unlawfully and maliciously causing grievous bodily harm. This as a result of an order which was made by Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown Matthias at the conclusion of a preliminary inquiry for him to stand trial at the High Court before a judge and jury. Martin is accused of inflicting a wound to the right eye of Melissa McPhee, also a student of Largo Height, on October 28, 2014 at the compound of J.P. Eustace Memorial Secondary School, resulting in blindness to the eye. McPhee was a patient at the female surgical ward of the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for approximately 3 days. The incident is said to have stemmed from an altercation between the two students on the date in question. In other court news, Andrew Murray, a laborer from Chateaubelair, has been freed on a charge of wounding with intent. His freedom came this morning when Crown Counsel Carl Williams told Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown Matthias that the prosecution was discontinuing the preliminary inquiry which looked into the circumstances of the case. He did not state his reason for discontinuing the matter. Murray was accused of taking a stone and inflicting a wound to the forehead of Brian Matthias of the same address on June 13, 2014, while he was standing in the porch of his dwelling house. Matthias was a patient at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for over 30 days, nursing injuries. The Methodist Church of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is inviting persons to attend a march and rally this Sunday, which would kickstart a week of activities commemorating Aldersgate. Aldersgate is an annual celebration that is practiced worldwide, reflecting on the work of the Methodist movement. Superintendent of the Methodist Church Kingstown to Chateaubelair Circuit, Adolph Davis, says the march and rally is geared at unifying the nation over concern for the men. Davis says that it is obvious that men are encountering numerous challenges and therefore they need prayer and guidance. According to Davis, in prison there are a greater number of men as opposed to men in church or men in classrooms and at the workplace, and this event seeks to address these issues. Spiritual Baptist Faith will celebrate another anniversary of their freedom to worship on Sunday, May 24th, with a procession of witness from the Peace Memorial Hall in Kingstown to Victoria Park beginning at 1 p.m. The procession will be led by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Band. A worship service will then be held at the Victoria Park commencing from 2 p.m. It is expected to be broadcast live here on SVG television. The spiritual Baptist religion, then known as Shakerism, had been declared illegal by a colonial ordinance in 1912, which prescribed fines and imprisonment for those found guilty of practicing Shakerism. Social and political activist George McIntosh had championed the cause of the Shakers. In 1951, a trial in the magistrates' court ended the acquittal of those of those who had been charged for offenses under the Shakerism Prohibition Ordinance of 1912. The Prohibition Ordinance was formally repealed in 1965 under the influence of Ebenezer Theodore Joshua. In 2002, the House of Assembly unanimously passed an act declaring May 21st as the Spiritual Baptist Freedom to Worship Day. Since then, Spiritual Baptists have been celebrating their anniversary of freedom on the Sunday nearest the 21st of May. This Sunday's observances will be the first jointly organized anniversary celebrations for some time. In recent years, each Spiritual Baptist Assembly has been celebrating National Spiritual Baptist Day individually. Vincentians, particularly DJs, are encouraged to play more local music by Secretary of the SVG Association of Music Professionals, or the AMP, Geoff Venner, who is also the local director of the Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO. Venner says local artists meant supporting the Vincentian economy.
I would like the Vincentian public to accept the fact that our songwriters and performers and musicians generally and persons in the music industry need to be compensated for their work. They all enjoy the performers and the writers' music in Carnival and at other times of the year, but they have to understand that these persons have to find the financial wherewithal to bring this music to them, to the public. And we hope that the radio stations would support them throughout the year by playing their music, because when they play a lot of foreign music, the money that is collected by ECHO goes out of the Caribbean. It doesn't remain in St. Vincent. So if we play more Vincentian artists, the money will remain in St. Vincent.
As the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Commerce and Information Technology wraps up Service Week here in SVG, Vincentian service providers are reminded that power comes from unity by the ministry's trade officer, Okolo John Patrick. The Grade 1 students of the Richland Park Government School earlier this week received a warm welcome by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves at Cabinet Room. The students, who were all elated to meet the Prime Minister, were accompanied on the visit by their teachers and the ruling Unity Labour Party's candidate for Mariquah, St. Clair Jimmy Prince. The activity was geared at giving the students the opportunity to learn more about the governance of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister Gonsalves urged the students to embrace education as a viable option out of poverty.
You know who sits right here in the seat? Your seat? Mrs. McGill. She's the Deputy Prime Minister, so she has to sit next to the Prime Minister. You understand? So you're sitting now, you're sitting like the Deputy Prime Minister. And the lady who sits on this side is the Cabinet Secretary, so you're now my Cabinet Secretary today. The Cabinet Secretary is the one who takes all the notes of the meeting. You hear me? You girls are so beautiful. I wouldn't remember everybody's name, but You're in grade 1?
Yes.
That means you are how old now? 6 years.
And one of the students who aspires to be a singer used the opportunity to sing her favorite song, My God is Awesome.
Awesome. He can move the mountains. Keep me in the valley. Hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Awesome. That's good. Awesome. Awesome. My God is awesome. Let us clap. Awesome. 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 My God is awesome.
We'll be right back with Carnival Beat.
Start the wave, start the wine, start the jump. I am a Vinci,
Vincentians are being urged to come out in their numbers on Saturday, May 30th and give support to the 8 contestants vying for the Miss SVG title 2015, deemed as an event not to be missed. As the contestants continue with their intense training for the big event, SVG-TV News spoke with 7 of the 8 contestants who say they are all ready to deliver a show like no other. Missing was Miss Mystique Company Limited, Deontay Myers.
My name is Donna Nelson and I'm sponsored by Dipcon Engineering Services Limited. We were just running through the swimsuit routine and I think we're all getting along fine with this routine.
Alright, how about you? Remind us of your name again.
Vicky Charles and I'm Miss Lotto.
Alright,
well, we just run through the swimsuit routine. It's going well so far. We are striving for perfection.
And Miss
French Randa, Precious Abraham.
Alright, what are your thoughts? You were saying you think you would have been more frustrated at this point?
Yes, I actually expected us to be really frustrated, but we're able to cope and get along very well.
Yeah, and how you think you're catching on your routines?
I'm a quick learner, so it's not hard for me at all.
So you think you're doing well?
Very well.
Alright.
I am Disha Mori and I am Miss Plifor. So far, we're training well. This evening we're doing routines for all of the segments in the show, and I think it's going very well for me because I'm not good with routines. I am not good with routines, so I think it's going very well. I know my routines and I'm just ready to go.
Alright.
Hello, my name is Melissa Antwine and I'm proud to be sponsored by Metrosens General Insurance Company Limited. I think that it's been a great practice so far, and I think that I'm also a quick learner, so I'm not getting a bit of struggle, so I'm doing well.
Alright.
Hello, Chantal Girls Agricultural Impulse Warehouse Limited. What you just saw a while ago was the routine for the swimwear, and before that, I am not sure if you missed it, that was the introductory routine.
Okay.
After you will see, if you are here, you will see the evening gown routine. Thus far, everything is okay, especially the swimwear, because that is where we are allowed to express ourselves, because we are to be creative, to spice it up.
Yes. So look out for the swimwear, you say?
Definitely.
Alright.
Hi, I am Miss Lime Anika Robinson, and this evening we're here practicing our different routines for not only introduction but also the swimwear and evening wear.
Alright, and how things are going for you, Anika?
So far so good, and I'm looking forward to the night of May 30th.